Coach, everything always seems to be great when a team's winning. 2-0 on the season, and from the outside, everything appears to be great. But from the inside, what needs to be worked on to continue to improve and continue this run?
And I'm going to take total responsibility for this. And I just didn't think we saw improvement from week 1 to week 2. I think we digressed just a little bit, physically especially. I think we definitely need to play more physical. Assignment-wise, I thought we knew what our job was, but we didn't really finish the play and really get after it. And so I'm going to put all that on me. So I got to do a better job this practice and making sure we're finishing plays. We're giving great effort every single play as well. And that we're making the plays that we're supposed to make. And, so I think that's the things like right now in our games that we're not doing. I feel like there's a little bit of letdown here and there. The offense takes the lead. We get a stop. We kind of go down and not score, but give the ball back to them, and then our defense gives up the touchdown. Those are the things that we got to end, and we got to learn how to start finishing teams and start putting teams away and just driving a spike. And that's something we're not doing now is just finishing. So that's going to be on me this week to make sure that we focus on those things and do the things well so that we are prepared this week for Northwest, who is going to be 0-2, who's going to be very hungry, wanting to win very badly, and going to give us everything that they possibly can to win this ball game.
Seems like defensively you've had great moments, but it's been the quarterback run game that's really been a problem in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, we didn't think that we're going to run as much. Mo West, especially their starting quarterback, wasn't a runner. They bring in their backup quarterback, and obviously the kid is a runner. So, we just got to do a better job of being sound. Especially in pass game of staying in our rush lanes when we have a running quarterback. Our tackles have kind of been getting out of A gap, B gap, and kind of leaving a seam for him to run as well. We get our hands on the quarterback, but we're not finishing the tackles. And then just being assignment sound, there's a couple there where we just didn't do our job and didn't do our assignment. And that's a communication between linebacker and defensive end on who's doing what and understanding the call and executing the call. So those are things we've got to clean up this week to make sure that we keep the quarterback in the pocket and put pressure on him with our defensive ends and collapse the pocket on top of him and hopefully get some sacks this week. So, but the communication's got to be there. We've got to do a better job of doing our assignment and then wrapping up when we're there. I mean, we're there at times. We just don't make the tackle.
Which is a more difficult or dangerous assignment, facing an 0-2 team or a 2-0 team?
They're both difficult, but I think an 0-2 Northwest is very dangerous because they're a team that's hasn't been in this situation very often. I think the last time they were in this situation was back in 1993, 1994 when Coach Churchman just took over the program, and I know they're hungry right now. They're a very good football team. Just had some bad breaks here and there with turnovers and things like that, and giving up a couple plays here defensively, but. You still look at them, they're still Northwest. I mean, they still have a very good defense. They're very strong up front. They have good secondary guys that fly around to the ball. They have great linebackers. And then offensively, they're still trying to put things together. A bunch of a few new faces on that side of the ball as well. So I think they're very dangerous. And so this team kind of scares me just because of, I know the potential that this team has. And we just got to make sure that we go in there and take care of business and take care of ourselves and make sure that we make the plays that we're supposed to make, and we don't make the mistakes, that are going to cost us this ball game. We're going to be very good in all phases of this game, special teams, offensively and defensively, to win this ball game because I'm preparing for a dogfight and a battle, and I want to make sure our kids are preparing the same way this week. But no 2 Northwest team scares me.
Despite being 0-2, does the Northwest name still hold some weight with everybody?
It does. I mean, especially when you come to rankings and things like that. And, I mean, just they were so dominant for so long, but, it's kind of getting to the point in our conference now that everybody's kind of catching up to everybody. It's anybody's given year, when you step on the football field, just because our conference is so tough and, there's no gimmies in this conference anymore. It's week in and week out. You have to be ready to play. So, they've struggled a little bit here this year, but that's right now, right? We still have 9 more games to go, and who knows what they're going to do in these next 9 games to change things around. So, but they're still tough. I mean, they're still competitive, and they still have that. They have a lot of titles, to their name as well, and a lot of conference championships, too. So, we can't slip up here and think just because they're 0-2 that they're not very good, because they are a very good football team.
Western got after it, blitzing, and just giving you a lot of pressure all week last week. And Northwest traditionally pretty good up front. What are the challenges for the O-line and the offense in that regard this week?
Taking care of the four-man front first. I mean, they're just strong and powerful. They're good at fitting their gaps, and then they're good at getting off blocks and making the tackle in the backfield. And we got to solidify the front four first, and then we'll work up to the next level. And the linebackers do a good job of fitting the gaps that they need to fit into, and their safeties do a good job of filling downhill and making tackles. So it all starts with those front four. If we can take care of those front four with our front five, and with our tight ends involved in that game, it's going to help us out quite a bit. But we got to try to establish a run game against Northwest, which many people haven't been able to do over the years. But we got to find a way to do that this week.
You gave up 5 sacks last week. After taking a look at the film, what did you see, and what do you think you need to do to correct that?
It was just missed assignments, and we hadn't seen that much pressure, out of Mo West in a long time. And once we scored that first time, they decided that we need to start doing something differently defensively, and so they started bringing a lot of 5-man pressure, a lot of 6-man pressure, and pressures that we haven't seen from them before. So it's just still doing your assignment. As long as you know who the ID is and who the -1 is and +1 and all those things with linebackers and offensive line, or with running backs and offensive linemen, you can pick those things up. I mean, we're in position, we just didn't make the play, or we didn't see the guy coming, even though we were still sitting there in the hole ready to pick him up. So we just got to be prepared for that this week. Northwest is not a real big blitz team. They might be this week after watching last week's film, but also Mo West was twisting quite a bit too, and they hadn't done that in the past either. So that got to us a little bit, but I think in the second half we calmed down just a little bit and figured it out, pretty quick. Having the iPads on the sideline is nice, and being able to take them to the locker room at halftime is helpful, so we can show them exactly what's happening and who needs to pick up who. But we got to solidify those things this week and just make sure that we're locked into who we have, blitz wise or twist wise, and exchange those things if we need to and pick it up when we need to.
Talked a lot about what your team needs to work on, but your team is 2-0. What are some of the things that are going really good for your team?
That we're 2-0, right? And we haven't played our best football yet is the good thing about it. If we can start fixing these things and play a little bit more mature and play a little bit more physical and finishing our assignments, I think this team could be a really, really good football team and a contender as well. But we got to take that step this week and weeks forward. We talk about champions, so we need to practice like we're truly trying to be champions. And sometimes I feel like we're playing not to lose the game, and instead of playing to win the game. And hopefully that's what we do this week, is we learn how to win the ball game and finish people off when that time comes and put people away. That's something that we haven't done. I get tired of letting guys hang around in ball games that we shouldn't let them hang around. And hopefully this is the week that we step up and get that winner's mentality, play to win, and play physical, play aggressive, and go make the plays that we're supposed to make. We are making some, right, at times, but there's still times that maybe we throw a pass a little bit short, or we turn the ball over when we're not supposed to, create more turnovers defensively, and then not have that little let up or a little lull, when we do get the lead, especially defensively, of letting them get back into the game. Those are the things that we got to end right now this week. So hopefully we do. I'm going to be pressing it hard this week with them and stressing it. So they're probably not going to see a very nice Coach Brown this week in practice, but what better time to do it than when you're 2-0 and trying to get better.
You said practice like champions, and I hear that phrase from a lot of coaches, through social media, but what does it mean to practice like a champion? What has to happen in your mind for 4 days to practice like a champion?
Everything that we do has a purpose, whether it's individual drills, whether it's one-on-ones, wide receivers versus DBs, whether it's inside run, individual drills, just everything that we do with team, sessions against each other, skelly sessions against one another. Sometimes in practice, I think guys just make plays. A wide receiver will catch a ball, instead of acting like he's bursting to go score a touchdown, he just catches it and comes back to the quarterback. Well, let's turn and get upfield and act like we're going to score. Defensively, maybe just get a knockdown where if we actually would have gave some great effort, we probably could have got a pick. Just those little things like that. And I just feel like sometimes in practice, guys just cut the finished product, just finishing the play a little bit short. And that's something you can't do to be a champion. You got to finish every single play. And you got to play every play in practice like it's a game rep. And if we treat every practice, whether it's individual, skill of your team, like it's a game rep, that's practicing like a champion. So if we can do those things, I think that really boosts our game.
You mentioned maybe trying not to lose at times. How much is that a byproduct of the expectation and all that going into this season, or is that As any parent.
But that's part of it, right? I mean, we have high expectations for these kids, and sometimes playing not to lose is part of it. But you got to want that pressure, right? I mean, that's just life's full of pressures and all kinds of different things that people throw at you left and right. What the world's going to throw at you left and right, and it's what you're going to do with it. I mean, don't try not just to lose it, but let's go win in life and go win, in these moments. And hopefully our kids do that this week. I mean, we have to win, and play to win. And win every rep. Are we going to win every single rep? No. But what are you going to do the next play after that rep? You need to go win that next rep. And hopefully our kids do that this week. We're going to press it this week in practice. And, we might do a few little different things this week in practice just to make sure it gets done.
You're going on the road for the first time. What are the challenges of going on the road, especially the first time out in the season?
It'll be pretty easy with this group because these kids have been on the road many times. We're an older group, a lot of juniors, a lot of seniors, a few underclassmen, and I expect our seniors and juniors to show the underclassmen how things work and how things are done, when we go on the road and our expectations on the road as well. Sometimes I feel like we get a little bit more prepared, on the road as well because, they're together more and we're together with them as well. On Friday night, we're at home on Friday night. We don't really see them or around them, but at least I know exactly where they're at on Friday night now, and that's in the hotel room and, with room checks and things like that. With this group, I think we're going to be just fine. I think it's a good group that does things the right way, and they're going to make sure things are handled the right way. We have a few extra meetings with them as well. So, I think this group's going to handle it very well. If it was a younger group of freshmen and sophomores, I might tell you a different story. But with this group, I don't worry about it too much.
Say you have a room check. You have like a curfew.
Yeah, we usually do a bed check to make sure they're in their room at a certain time at like 10 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock we come back around and make sure all the lights are off and they're in bed. So. Yeah, we do a couple of them, and then we kind of roam the halls at night just to make sure that, nobody's out doing things they're not supposed to. But hopefully with this group of kids that are mature and do things the right way, we don't have to worry about those things.
Do you have any rules as far as use of social media?
No, I mean, that's the life we live right now, right? Everybody's on social media. Just one thing I say is don't ever put any bulletin board material out there, and that's the most important thing. And, if our kids don't do those things, we'll be okay.